Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the archive. I didn't put my green screen up. I'm gonna have to do that really quick. Fuck, I'm all over the place today, huh? But yes, welcome back to the archive. I'm your host, Ars Arcane, and give me one moment while I fix that. Come on. Yeah. Perfect. It's fine. It's fine. Room's only a complete fucking mess behind me. The green screen is only partially there to do the green screen things and totally not to just block my dirty ass room. But who cares? But we're back with Final Fantasy XIV, where we will likely, I'm assuming, finish. Not finish all I want to do in Heavensward before starting Stormblood, but at least probably finishing the post-main story quests. I don't think there's much to go, given that things have kind of come to a head. But if we do get through all that stuff, there's two things I want to do before we move on to Stormblood. The Alliance Raid and the Normal Raid series. From what I've heard, I've picked up the first one, which is, I think it's called Alexander, which is the big, robot thing in the middle of the Idleshire area. And then, of course, you have, what's it called? I don't actually know what it's called. I just know where to pick it up. Which is the Alliance Raid, which I've heard is much easier and a lot more reasonable than Crystal Tower was lengthwise. Still, obviously, 3 dungeons, I assume, but we'll find out. Regardless, let's move us over to the view and then go ahead and get started. God, I've been subscribed for over 210 days. Do you know how insane that is? It's been over half a year since I started playing this game, and I still am loving it. In fact, I actually had free time last week. Not a lot of it. Obviously, I didn't stream very much last week because I didn't have a ton of free time. But I had enough free time to log in, do my get back into the routine of doing daily leveling roulettes, doing my daily shit, PvPs, all that good stuff, and I even did finally finished the most painful thing I've ever done in this game, and I'm so glad to be done with it until I inevitably start leveling up other classes and, work towards relic weapons in other things. And that is... Oh, not that button. Stance. Glowy weapon, because I finished the book step. I'm on to a much simpler step, and I know it's much simpler because I'm already a good chunk of the way through. I've already infused a third of the total materia required. Alexandrites were a lot easier to obtain than I initially thought. You're just using treasure maps. So much fucking easier. And, I was a little worried about the materia, but they don't seem to be that expensive on the market board, so we're making good progress with that. As I said, I'm already 2/3 of the way there. But regardless, we have a main story quest to complete. Forgive me, my thoughts were elsewhere. And this, when I know full well there is yet work to be done. The crystals... Leave them to me. I'll go back into Zaharak and secure them. The Amalja will still be in disarray after the thrashing the Warriors of Darkness gave them. They are not light to notice a lone bard skulking about. But Thancred, you... Don't have to do this, I know, but I want to. I'll see you at the Rising Stones. I should go and find Yida and Papalimo. They must have finished searching the Mask's camp by now. Not that it matters anymore. You must be tired. I know I am. If thou wilt permit me, my lady, I would ask a question. When didst thou become aware of mine independent pursuits? when I saw you meeting with that warrior of darkness and the Ascian in white at the great library. I tried not to think of the worst. You've never been one to confide in others, so I knew that even were your intentions pure, you would not have shared your plans with us until you felt the time was right. But I cannot deny that a part of me feared you had simply betrayed us. Would that there had been another way. Know that I took no pleasure in deceiving thee, and that these sins will forever weigh heavy on my heart. I understand why you did what you did. That you but sought to achieve the greatest good while inflicting the least harm. Not many would have the courage to make that choice. But even knowing what came of your actions, I find that I cannot condone them. I'm sorry. Forgive me, but I believe the events of the day have taken their toll on me. I should like to rest for a while. If thou wilt grant me leave, I would gladly escort thee unto a refuge of thine own choosing. Once my lady hath regained her strength, we shall join thee at the Rising Stones. Until then, warrior of light. Yeah, she'll be fine. Let's go see what Papalymo and Ida's little quest resulted in. Doesn't really look like they went very far since we last saw them. Well met. Alphino said you'd be joining us. 'Twould seem that the Griffin's double was telling the truth, insofar as we found nothing resembling a sizable cache of crystals in the Mask's camp. Did you perchance find one in Zaharak? Actually, yeah, it was quite the mess. I don't believe it. The crystals, Minfilia, all of it. It's just, I don't know what it is. I sympathize, Ida. Even now I struggle to comprehend that which I saw. The only thing I can say with any certainty is that I feel blessed to have been granted a final chance to speak with her. 'Twas bittersweet, aye, but also affirming. Alphino, I believe it is past time Ida and I rejoin the Scions. We have been far away for far too long. Though I am loath to leave the Griffin to his own devices, I feel our investigation would benefit from your more dispassionate perspectives, and I hope that we might, in turn, offer our own opinions on the many challenges that you have faced in our absence. Gods, it's been absolutely ages, hasn't it? I can't wait to hear about everyone's adventures. We should be glad to recount them, and Tataru's tales may well surprise you. Hello? Ida? Ida? Rolgar be praised, it is you. Ida, alive and standing here before me in the flesh. I can hardly believe my eyes. Oh, come now. Has it really been so long you don't remember me? It's Gundabald. I fought beside your father in the Revolution. Do not think less of her, friends. It has been 20 years since the occupation sent us our separate ways. But the resistance were always welcome in Little Alamigo. They gave us hope, and young Ida most of all. Ida here was always full of fire, ever the first to volunteer for a mission. Till the day she up and vanished, that is. There were rumors, and we feared the worst, but here you are, alive and well, looking nary a day older. That's weird. It's been 20 years. If she's, here, I would expect some change. Of course, this guy might, who knows? This guy's probably just a weirdo. Well, what? can I say, I'm sorry for running off like that and making you all worry. It's a long story, but you see, I got involved with my friends here, the Scions. Oh, sorry, we were still in the circle of knowing back then, right. Anyway, I wanted to come back and tell you, but it was all very secretive stuff at the time, and, as you can see, I'm completely fine. I know we've got a lot to talk about, and we will, but right now I've got to hurry back to our headquarters. My friends are expecting me. Pray forgive her. It has been a very long day for us all. I promise we will visit again at the first opportunity. Let us return to the Rising Stones. Hells take me for giving you that mask. What the fuck does that mean? Is there some secret you're holding from us, Papalimo? Ida, come on. After all we've been through, we're keeping secrets? Unbelievable. You think you can trust people? Ah, the good old Rising Stones. I've only been back here a couple of times since the Heavensward started. Feels weird. You know, I wasn't actually expecting there to be dialogue there. I just, you know, I was just curious. Welcome home. I trust your journey was uneventful. You will be pleased to hear that Thancred has secured the crystals. He sent word a short while ago. Once he has delivered them safely under the Temple Knight's care, he will rejoin us here and we can declare this matter officially resolved. While awaiting your arrival, I took the opportunity to contact Y'shtola and Kryl and brief them on all that has occurred. I also requested that they return to the Rising Stones at their earliest convenience. Now that our lost friends have been found, it would seem meet to discuss the future. Yeah, we kind of lost our boss, like our leader.
Back in the Solar. It's been too long since we were all together like this. Not since after Minbreda.
Much has changed since then. We ourselves, most of all.
Though not all who were lost could be gathered here today, we may take comfort in the knowledge that those who are not are carrying on the fight.
Hell yeah.
While I am grateful to our friends in the north for their hospitality, it isn't half good to be back.
But, as Papalima rightly said, much has changed since we last stood here. The Scions of the Seventh Dawn are not as they once were, nor should we be. Our travels in the north brought us into contact with a host of fine and generous people, and their selfless deeds serve to show me that it is not lofty causes that should inform our actions, but our hearts. And I hope that the Scions might continue in this manner, as individuals driven by individual principles. Provided we all sincerely desire to work towards Eorzea's salvation, I believe the paths we follow to achieve it need not, and should not, be dictated by any single ideal.
Interesting. A little bit of change.
Companions bound by a common purpose, free to go whither they will. The idea is not without merit. Very well. I shall resume my research of the primals and the elder gods of Eorzea. Should anyone have need of my findings, you need only ask.
Surprised Alice isn't here.
Well, My main purpose in coming here was to see the signs of the Seventh Dawn restored and my dear friend found. Nevertheless, having involved myself in your struggles, I feel compelled to see them through to the bitter end. For Minfilia's sake. That is, if there are no objections.
I can't see why there would be.
You will always be welcome here, Kryl.
Urianger, can we trust you to carry on your investigation of the Ascians as before?
Regardless of mine own desires, I am undeserving of your trust, having so villainously deceived you all.
True.
Now, I'll hear no more of that. Would be disrespectful of Minfilia's wishes. She entrusted matters here to us, that we might protect this star and understand the truth which hides at her heart. Mayhap I can handle the former, but I think you far better suited to the latter. No?
Very well. Then out of love for my Lady Minfilia and Moonbreeder both, this shall be my solemn charge.
Papalimo and I should probably return to Thanalan to keep an eye on the resistance. There's still the matter of the Griffin and the Amalja, not to mention the new Imperial Viceroy. That little lot must be worthy of our attention, right?
Honestly forgot about the Imperial Viceroy.
And what will you do, Alize?
Oh, you are here. Didn't see you over there in that chair.
You know I have no great love for organizations and formalities. That being said, this new approach you propose is not wholly objectionable, and we've always got her to keep us from bickering.
I don't know how good of a job I'll do at that, but sure.
But I will suffer no titles. I am not here for House Leveilleur, nor to walk in Grandfather's shadow.
Upon that point, we see eye to eye. If it please you, you may think of me as but another comrade in arms.
Well then, Alfie, I for my part shall see to the paperwork and the finances with my characteristic aplomb.
I would not have it any other way, Tataru. And we mustn't forget you. What now for the Warrior of Light?
What, you think I'm gonna back out at this point? I'm kinda in over my head here, but, in for a penny, in for a pound. Wanna give me a dialogue option? You do that occasionally. I guess we get to play the hero a little longer.
The path behind us was fraught with hardship, and the path before us will be no less unforgiving. But a new dawn shall break over the realm, and I see before me the faces of those who will deliver it.
You see? You see those faces? Look at them, the scions of the Seventh Dawn. Look how far we've come. The people we've met, the moments we've shared, the losses we've suffered, the tragedies we've overcome. All of it has made us who we are today. Where we go from here and what the future holds, only the 12 know. but I know that we'll find out together.
One world's heroes are another world's villains. One world's loss, another world's gain. Where men go as one, there is life. And where there is life,
My friends, if I may, I would ask that you entrust Tupsimati to me.
That's a
Clouds
large
gather
ask.
on the horizon, and as Master Louisoix's disciple, I would keep it close at hand.
Sure, I'm not using it. Like, I got my own powerful magic staff. I'm sure you'll be fine with that.
Thank you. I shall guard it well.
there is cause to hope. For every ending, every parting, marks a new beginning.
Kind of, you know, hopeful, a little ominous. Griffin and True Griffin, what's up? How's it going? Well done, brother. You may resume your normal duties and rejoin the others. The coming battle shall be our greatest yet, and I intend to stand with you all on that glorious day. True believers are so readily led. I have given them everything they desired, all for which they have prayed. I doubt you can say the same for your pawns. Get what you wanted, then? Was it all worth it in the end? There were some unexpected developments, but they were ultimately to our advantage. Be it host to a surfeit of light or dark, a world bereft of equilibrium is but a void in waiting, and a void is no use to my master. I shall follow her emissary with great interest. For the pawns, whom you so pity, they have delivered unto me a gift, which I do now present to you. It's balls. Oh, the eyes. Those are Nidhogg's eyes. Why do you have Nidhogg's eyes? The eyes of Nidhogg. Many were the candidates considered, but by your deeds you have proven yourself the most deserving. We threw them into our fucking ravine. Honestly, I'm surprised I survived the fall to collect them. A man of boundless rage and bottomless despair, in whose breast beats a heart which thirsts for vengeance. Only you are fit to wield these eyes, for weal or for woe. Can't fucking escape Nidhogg to save our fucking life, huh? No? No? Killing him twice isn't enough for you? Oh, it's Seal Rock. What are we doing at Seal Rock? I think that's the name of this I think this is the PvP map. So it was here all along. And who are you? Obviously Garlean. Oh, Nero. Fucking, that's right. That's your fucking name. Oh, just you wait, my pretty. You and I are going to have so much fun. Man, you didn't learn your lesson the last time you got saved just by the skin of your teeth from being completely, like, swallowed up by the void. No retreat, no surrender. Ah, just the hero I wanted to see. Would you mind doing me a small favor? I need you to meet me at the Diamond Forge. This won't take long, I promise. Okay. Sure, I guess. I don't know what you want there, but, well, what would it hurt? Alright, I guess in here. Why are we here? I'm sorry to drag you away from your duties, but as I said, this won't take long. I just need you to stand perfectly still for a few moments. Okay. What's going on? Right, everyone! Ready to go to work? No squirming now. Oh, and you might want to close your eyes. Wait, What the fuck is happening? There, all finished. The Warriors of Lights, every measurement from heroic head to intrepid toe. You fucker, you ambushed me. You could have just asked. Well, wouldn't you like to know? All in good time. All in good time. Aha! I found you. Alphino wants everyone in the Solar for a meeting. I don't know what it's about, but he seemed to think it was very important. Go on, we have everything we need. No sense in keeping everyone waiting.
We're here. Did we miss anything?
We would not presume to begin without you, Ida. Orianger has returned to the Waking Sands, but everyone else is now present.
Yes, but for what exactly? We all have duties to attend to, Alphino, so you may dispense with the preamble.
Thank you, Elisée. It is the very subject of those duties which compelled me to call this gathering. Though the Warriors of Darkness no longer pose a threat, Eorzea's many troubles demand no less of our attention. And while I stand by the decision to approach each task as we see fit, I fear our effectiveness will ultimately be diminished should we continue to act in ignorance of each other's efforts. Thus, I propose we elect a successor to Minfilia. Not to serve as a fully fledged antecedent, perhaps, but as a coordinator of operations.
Okay, and...
Is that all? Well, then the decision seems clear. No one else has shown any enthusiasm for the role, and judging by your performance at our previous meeting, you would seem the perfect candidate. You always did have a flair for politics.
Yeah, that would have been my first assertion.
I did not mean to... That was not my intention. As my tenure as commander of the Crystal Braves comprehensively demonstrated, I lack the qualities required for such an office. I would much prefer to remain as I am now, a soldier in the field, so to speak.
Should none of our number step forward, must we then constrain some unwilling candidate to take up the position?
Well, based on merit alone, a certain adventurer would be my choice. Though I concede she might struggle to balance her new responsibilities with, let me see, slaying primals, thwarting legatuses, and feeding the orphan poor.
Yeah, I have a lot of things on my plate. I don't need more responsibilities. Thank you very much.
Thancred makes a good point. Any who would wear such a mantle would be bound by its obligations.
I hate the fact that I have a phone in here.
Have we not become
It's
sufficiently
really
familiar
annoying.
with each other's methods to act without an overseer? At present, I see no cause to so willingly limit one of our number.
Oh my goodness, you're... Help! I need some help here!
Okay.
Tataru, are you all right?
What about the lady beside her?
I'm fine. It's this poor girl who just staggered in and collapsed on the floor that I'm worried about.
Narco! God, how did... Yashola! Please, you have to help her.
Kral, a hand if you would. Let us see about closing these wounds.
Okay, who the fuck is Nago?
Now, we've staunched the bleeding, but it may be a while before you can move about again. Though having seen your wounds, I'm surprised you are still moving at all.
Thank you. My message. It was too important to delay. I took the shortest route I could, though I knew it was more heavily patrolled. As you can see, my efforts at evasion were not entirely successful.
Honestly, you're too brave for your own good. What was so urgent that you needed to fight half the Empire to get here? You could have been killed.
I'm sorry, Ida. I had good reason. But I imagine your friends are wondering who this bloody mess of a Mikote is. My name is Minago, and I belong to the Alamegan Resistance.
That's great, but what did you come here to say? It's obviously important. Let's not delay with pleasantries.
I came to warn Ida and Papalimo about one of our leaders. A man who calls himself the Griffin. He's always been dangerous, but he's planning something new. Something reckless.
The Griffin, you say? I've heard the name. Rumor has it your man is eager to test his claws.
Aye, and on no easy target. He means to assault Belsar's wall from the Alamegan side.
But what does the Griffin possibly hope to gain from such an attack?
From what I understand, he wants the fires of war to spread to Eorzea. And for that, he needs to control the border with Gridania.
So, he means to spark a conflict between the Alliance and the Imperial forces stationed in Alamigo. to have Eorzea's armies aid in the liberation effort, whether they will it or no.
His plan is flawed. Even should the resistance succeed in occupying the wall, they would not be able to hold it. Imperial reinforcements would drive them out within a week.
Yeah, it's not exactly a good plan.
Be that as it may, if there is even a chance that this scheme could bring about an escalation in hostilities between Eorzea and the Empire, the Alliance must be informed.
Agreed. I shall depart for Lim-Solaminsa forthwith and seek an audience with the Admiral. Thancred, Uldar is yours. Alphinaud and Alize, make haste to the Twelveswood and notify the Elder Seedseer of the danger to Gridania. She will duly call a council of the Alliance leaders, whom you must be ready to receive.
You know, you're starting to sound like a leader more and more, Y'shtola. Good coordination.
You will be our voice in Ishgard. Explain the situation to Sir Emmerich and encourage him to send an envoy. To Taru, Kryl, I leave the care of our injured messenger to you. See that she remains quiescent and her wounds closed. I believe that covers everything. Let us be about our tasks.
Literally just stepped up, took charge.
The ill tidings from Girabania will be held as a turning point. The beginning to a bloody end. The business of war was ever conducted with the coin of self-sacrifice. 'Twas Master Louis Soir himself who taught us that such costs are not to be ignored or denied.
I don't like all this self-sacrifice talk you're doing, Papa Limo.
And so, I shall embrace them. When the time comes, I will make my choice, as you will yours.
Papa Limo, you're throwing up a lot of death flags right about now, and I would probably stop. Not that that would change anything, I guess. You're worrying me here, Papa Limo. We just got you back. You're one of my favorites. Stop fucking sounding like you're just, like, you're going to die soon. I don't know how else to interpret that whole speech other than, oh, self-sacrifice is a necessary part of war. I'll have to make a choice eventually. Like, that's not a good sign. That's a very bad sign. Kira Abanya, or Albania. I don't know how it's pronounced. Greetings, warrior of light. What business brings you to Ishgard? I see. Wait here. I'll summon Sir Emmerich. It is good to see you, my friend. 'Tis but a pity it must be under such circumstances. Had Lucia not informed me of the urgency of your suit, I would certainly have sent for some wine. But to business. I thank you for bringing these developments in Alamiga to our attention. Ishgard will, of course, send an envoy to attend with the council in Gridania. I cannot say who will represent us, however, as the choice is not mine to make. Not mine alone, at any rate. Given the imminence of the threat, we may forego the formalities of a full assembly, but I will still need to consult my counterpart in the House of Commons prior to proceedings. Will you permit me some time to make the necessary arrangements? I thank you. A representative, whomever we select, will require a suitable escort. Make your preparations and inform Sir Andalou that he is to lead in your absence. Yes, Lord Commander. Pray accompany Lucia to the gates of judgment, and make ready to depart for Gridania. I will have our envoy join you as soon as I can. Fury, speed you on your way. If you have no other business in the city, join me at the gates of judgment. We must be ready to depart the moment the envoy arrives. Gates of judgment is there. I know I could just walk out the front gate, but, you know. What's 100 gil? You know, it's not that much. It might become that much once I start buying the remainder of my required materia to make, for my, weapon here. But I don't think I have much more to do on that front. I've looked up and read the entire, like, requirement for the quest before. Or for the upgrades before. Obviously, yes, I know statistically it is a bad weapon, but god, does it, and its upgraded forms look sick. We meet again. As it happens, my counterpart in the House of Commons agreed that I should act as an Ishgard's envoy. Not I concede that there was ever any real doubt. As Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, it is my duty to sanction his military cooperation. Be that as it may, I could not in good conscience make the decision alone. Not with the ink scarce dry in the Republic's Book of Statutes. I trust you understand, my friend. Alas, I must test your patience still further by making a brief stop at Camp Dragonhead. Given the trouble brewing in the Black Shroud, I would see that the garrison is ready to defend the border. I mean, that's fair. Yeah, that's a fair detour. The garrison commander waits within. Why not accompany me? You may see a familiar face. You? You're the garrison commander? How wonderful to see you, and Sir Aymeric too. To what do I owe these unexpected pleasantries? I will have some mulled wine brought up from the kitchens at once, if you will excuse... Nay, do not trouble yourself, Honoroi. We shall soon be on our way. Lucia, a brief summary, if you will. Yes, Lord Commander. Those villains hardly need an excuse to wage war. Bloodletting comes as naturally as breathing to a to an Imperial. And thus we shall strengthen our patrols as you suggest. We shall also be sure to communicate these developments to Lord Francel and the Observatorian. I see you have everything in hand. Carry on, Commander. I really moved up in the world. Surprised to see yours truly at the helm. You and me both, old girl. I doubt I'll ever feel as worthy to sit where he sat. Yeah. Yet we can but play the hand we're dealt. and with a little help from the veterans, and Ottawa's ceaseless chiding, I'm sure I'll muddle through. So worry not, old girl. Off to Gridania with you. Good to see you're doing well, Emmeline. Really matured from the, sort of bratty kid that you were when I started this expansion. It's good to see. Nope, yep. Diplomatic duties have brought me here on several occasions, but I find that I am as enraptured by the Black Shroud's beauty now as when I first laid eyes upon it. I fear that this time, however, Evin shall not afford us the luxury of enjoying the splendor of the forest. It seems we are to have an escort to the Lotus Stand. A pleasant place to discuss unpleasant matters, is it not? Yes, of course. 'Tis like that we are the last to arrive. Let us announce ourselves, shall we? To Old Gridania. Yep, this way. So if we interact with this and teleport to the Conjurer's Guild, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've been in older New Gridania. And the envoy from Ishgard has arrived. Very good. This way, if you please. Ah, and the Lamenson party as well. I had hoped to slip in unnoticed, but I see I was not the only one delayed in my arrival. Greetings, Sir Aymeric. Admiral, always a pleasure. And Warrior of Light, I trust you are well. 'Tis a day for reunions, it seems. I believe you are well acquainted with my escort. I was glad to hear from Riol that the missing scions have now been found. There is much more I would discuss with you, but first, let us first attend to the issue at hand, shall we?
I bid you welcome, my friends. As you will by now be aware, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have come into possession of certain intelligence concerning recent developments in the region of Gyr Abania. It springs, I am assured, from an unimpeachable source. Is that not so, Master Alphino?
Indeed, Elder Seedseer. Our information comes directly from a member of the Resistance's inner circle, and we have no cause to doubt its veracity.
This Griffin of theirs is a fool if he thinks he can hold Belsar's wall against the Empire. When the Imperials move to take it back, they will come in force. and the resulting fighting is all but certain to spill over into the Black Shroud.
At the Battle of Cartano, the combined might of 3 grand companies laboured to contend with the remnants of but a single Imperial Legion. Alone, Gridania would be hard-pressed indeed to hold back the tide, should the Garleans turn their minds from reclamation to invasion.
Emmerich, what's up, buddy?
May I once more convey my nation's deepest regrets for our inaction in the days prior to the calamity. 'Tis a stain upon our ledger that I would fain remove. Elder Seedseer, I do hereby request leave to deploy a defensive force within the borders of Gridania. Ishgard's return to the Alliance shall be honored by more than mere ink upon parchment.
The Doman people too would join any effort that weakens our common foe. We are few, but our most seasoned shinobi are at your disposal. On behalf of my people, I offer you my humble thanks. Gridania welcomes your assistance.
It is time we set our contingency plans in motion. Is the Alliance agreed?
Contingency plans?
Then let us make ready for war. Victory favors the swift. And there is much to be done.
True that.
The Council knows that Alamigo will not soon be wrested from the Empire, and its decision to bolster the border's defences seems eminently practical. Why then, brother, do you scowl so?
I agree that they have chosen the wisest course available. Indeed, the only reasonable one.
Okay, then what's the problem?
Yet something feels awry. In making ready for war, is the Alliance not granting the Griffin the very thing he desired? Any attempt to hold the wall is doomed to failure, aye. But I wonder if we have misjudged the prize for which he plays.
It's a good point. We are essentially fulfilling the goal he wants. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for freeing Alamigo, but like... I also don't trust the man as far as I can throw him. Whoever this fucking Griffin is. That the Council was able to reach an accord so swiftly is a heartening development in itself. I only hope my misgivings prove unfounded. Ah, good. You have yet to depart. I fear I had missed you. Sir Aymeric! Master Alphino, a pleasure as always. And Mistress Alice, how wonderful to see you thus recovered. Pardon the interruption. I had hoped to thank her for serving as our escort before other duties called her away. I also wish to thank our Doman ally. Honestly, I didn't even notice her until he looked that direction. Forgive me, my lord, but I was awaiting the opportune moment to join the conversation, and force of habit made me keep to the shadows. No apologies unnecessary, Mistress Yugiri. I was most grateful for your interjection when I offered Ishgard support. The nation's historic failure to heed the Alliance's pleas for aid is a matter of record. Even so, the Alliance leaders were plainly unprepared for my impromptu apology. The resulting air of awkwardness might have lingered longer were it not for... fuck. I skipped that dialogue. I did only my duty, Sir Aymeric. The Empire is an enemy to us all, and we are grateful for the opportunity to fight at your side. And full well glad we are to have you. Pray convey my regards to the Scions, my friends. We must return to Ishgard. Whatever is wrong with a simple sorry or thank you? Must these politicians always make a speech out of everything? That is how we adults speak, dear sister. Mayhap the ones who who like the sound of their own voice. In any case, our business here is concluded. We should be on our way as well. Will you accompany us to Revenant's Toll, Yugiri? Actually, I think I shall first pay a brief visit to the East Shroud. I'm curious to know how Papalimo and Ida fared in their talks with the Sylphs, not to mention what has been going on at Balser's Wall. I shall join you at the Rising Stones anon. Back to Mordona. Welcome back. I don't know about you, but I'm heartily glad that all of the talking is over. I understand that what the fuck is going on with those two chocobo? I understand that these council meetings are important, but do you not find it tiresome to have to weigh every word before you speak it? I doubt I will ever feel at home in the realm of politics. That said, people have been known to change, and if my brother is willing to run his own errands, anything is possible. I'll take the gold. Well, as much as I enjoy the bustle of the toll, I think it's time we headed inside. My brother and the others will not be long. Ah, you are returned from the council. But what of Alphino? Did some other matter require his attention? Mine apologies, friends. I trust we have not kept you waiting over long. Greetings, everyone. Oh, Cryon, how's Nago doing? She will be alright, won't she? I don't see why not. She's sleeping at the moment. Tataru is keeping an eye on her, so we'll know soon enough if there's any change in her condition. Her wounds are healing well. With sufficient rest, I'm sure she will make a full recovery. Thank goodness for that. Now, mayhap you would share with us the Council's decision. Each of the nations, Ishgard included, has committed to providing military support to Gridania. The Eorzean Alliance will soon have a significant force in the Black Shroud, ready to respond to any Imperial act of aggression. You know, I almost wish the Council would stop messing around and give the Griffin what he wants. I wouldn't like to be the Imperial cut between the Resistance and the Alliance. Ida, you cannot seriously. One does not lightly go to war with the Garlean Empire. Quite. To open hostilities without due consideration would be to invite disaster. If there were only some way to reach the Griffin, some means to convince him to abandon his reckless course. It may not be entirely unfeasible. There is a network of tunnels beneath Balsar's wall, secret passages dug by the Resistance to provide a way out of Alamigo, which may equally serve as a way in. Precisely. If all are in agreement, I would be the one to undertake the necessary negotiations. I'm familiar with the route, and the Resistance is familiar with me. About as familiar as they are with me, you mean? Say what you want. I'm coming too. I have some experience in the practice of infiltration. If you would have me, my services are at your disposal. As are mine. It's been far too long since I shared a shadow with a shinobi, and I do not intend to waste the opportunity. 4 is quite sufficient for an infiltration mission. Greater numbers will only serve to increase the risk of detection. Kryl and I will direct our energies elsewhere. What have you, Levieurs? I will return to the East Shroud and stand watch over the border. Should matters take a turn for the worst, it would seem wise to be on hand. Might I prevail upon you to accompany me? Gridania will be safer for your presence, and while it may not seem the most thrilling duty, dear sister, might I ask that you remain at the Rising Stones to pass on messages and so on? To hold the fort, you mean? Very well, I suppose the task must fall to someone. Safe travels, all of you. If you have any unfinished business in the toll, pray attend to it now. I would depart for the Hawthorn Hut without delay. The nearby watchtowers offer an unobfuscated view of Balsair's wall, and I should be interested to speak to the Alliance's commanders who have installed themselves at its top. Hey, Papalymo, what's up? I may perhaps have exaggerated my standing with the Resistance a little, but I am confident that I have a reasonable chance of putting a stop to this madness before events spiral out of control. Yes, fair to middling at the very least. All I'm saying is that it wouldn't be the worst thing if we ended up joining the Griffin's fight against the Empire. I mean, it's gonna happen sooner or later, isn't it? My fellow shinobi required little encouragement to take their place amongst the allied forces massing in Gridania. They are most eager to cross blades with the armies of Garlemald once more. I'm no ninja, but I did spend a few moons in the Charlayan homeland learning how to move on scene. Between Ugiri and my humble self, Ida and Papalymo will be well protected. Alright. If you insist, I guess to the Hawthorn Hut it is. I'm sure everything will go just fine. Just fine. Nope, nothing ever bad happens. Everything always goes perfectly for all of us. Ah, there you are. Come. Amarisai's spire awaits. The Alliance officers on the platform should be able to appraise us of any developments at the wall. Fancy meeting the two of you here. We're about to set forth. Indeed. I was about to say 12 watch over you, but I doubt you have any need of divine protection, even if you are venturing into enemy territory. Don't worry, Alphino. We'll have the Griffin by the scruff of the neck before you even know it. Do make up your mind, Ida. Nary a moment ago, you seemed ready to shake the Griffin by the hand rather than the neck. So, which is it to be? 'Twould the best to decide before we enter the it would be best to decide before we enter into negotiations. Trust me, Papalymo. I'll shake whatever needs shaking. The talking part, I leave to you. I think I feel a headache coming on. Let's be on our way, shall we? Some things never change. Well then, shall we make for the spire? Our alliance friends will doubtless have news for us. Welcome, Warrior of Light. I assume you're here to speak with our commanding officers. You'll find them on the observation platform. Pray proceed. Greetings, my friends. 'Tis good to see you both well. I was hoping you might turn up. I've dragged half the watch here, see, and was hoping the sight of you might help him remind him why we bothered. If memory serves, I have not seen many of you since the day of the grand melee. Having borne the brunt of your blows, may I say what an honor it is to stand at your side. 'Tis heartening to see the realm's most stalwart defenders thus gathered in common cause. Speaking of which, what news from the wall? All has been quiet. Yeah, so much for that. Spoke a little too soon there, buddy. Yeah, so much for quiet. What? 7 hells. Fighting has broken up on top the wall. Full-scale assault. So the Griffin has made his move. Someone has. And what's that supposed to mean? The attackers, they're wearing Grand Company colors. Impossible. We gave no such order. Of course. The wall was never the Griffin's target. It was bait. We have been goaded into deploying our armies nearby, thus lending weight to this deception. If those uniforms were convincing enough to deceive my scouts, the Empire will surely think we've launched an offensive. This could mean war. Even so, this may not yet be no more than a diversion. With the armies of the Alliance occupying the Empire's attention, it would be comparatively easy for the Griffin's supporters to slip into Alamigo. He could then incite a rebellion amongst the populace, while the Imperial reserves, which would be hard-pressed to contain. Eorzea, meanwhile, would be plunged into chaos. We must make for the wall at once. What? Just the 2 of you? Our companions embarked on this mission to sway the Griffin from his course, and are likely halfway to his command post by now. They will emerge in the midst of a raging battle, and I do not mean to abandon them to their fate. It will be dangerous, aye, but the confusion may work to our advantage. If we are careful to avoid the skirmishing, it may yet be possible to reach the Griffin. And if we can do that... Lady Hilda, might I ask that you have an airship ready to bear the Scions to safety? I don't know who this Lady Hilda is, Marshal, but you can count on me. We must prepare for Imperial reprisals. May the Navigator guide us through this storm. Well, this turned into a shit show real fucking quick. Forward, comrades, for the time has come to drive the Empire from Alamigo and force action upon those who have turned their backs to our suffering for so long. Let this victory be the first step in the liberation of our homeland. Alamigo will be free, no matter the cost. Yeah. The cost of everybody fucking else. Not really worth it, honestly. From what Papalimo told me, the trail ahead should lead us into the shadow of the wall. As we have two objectives, I suggest we divide our forces. I shall make straight ways for the tunnels, and attempt to intercept our comrades ere they stumble into a bloodbath. While I do so, I must ask that you scale the wall. Know that I would not propose such a course if there were any other way, but the time for subtlety is past. Take a band of your most trusted companions and cut a path through to the Griffin. Make him see reason by any means necessary. Once we are free of the tunnels, we will make for your position and with all due haste. If everything proceeds according to plan, Hilda will then swoop in and spirit us all away to safely. I pray that we only have enough time. Balsar's Wall. Alright. Well, average item level 230. Okay, fine. I know why I don't have item level 230, and that's because I'm still working on this fucking staff that is much worse than my Thaliac staff. The worst part is, well, no, I guess I could swap my weapon and then re-equip it when the queue pops if I wanted to. Yep. We're gonna do that, because I want to search for more of these things while we're waiting for this queue to pop. I've got treasure to dig. I only need to do 10 more. Which actually shouldn't take that long, because it's only like 5 trips to Mordona, and I've already done a third of the total requirement. And that took me less than half an hour. This step is so much easier than the fucking book step. While we wait... Swap back. Yep, sell my soul for a fucking possibility of doing this. But, I don't know, this step is pretty easy. I have no idea what the next couple of steps look like. Also, we're going there. It's just hope that this queue doesn't pop in the middle of me, like, fighting through monsters to get to a chest. Oh, materia gathering? Oh, well. Honestly, the materia I've been needed for this, I've already infused a good chunk of it. Yeah, actually, let me look. I know I've gotten a chunk of the way there. From just materia I've had on hand. I've already infused 25 out of 75, and most of my stats up to where they need to be. Honestly, I've just been buying it on the market board and not farming it, because that is much easier, and it's not as expensive as I expected it to be. It hasn't been that expensive up to this point, but I mean, I also haven't reached the third or fourth stages of Melvin yet either. Yeah. And after the book step, anything to get me moving, even if it takes a lot of my money, is fucking worth it. Lower Lenoska. We need... let's see. Probably just being blind. Oh, there it is. It's there. Very tip of the map. Like, I've already got a decent amount of, like, quick tongue 4s, and I think direct hit rate 4s. So I've got some of the higher end materia that would be more expensive. And the earlier ones are relatively cheap. Like, I think I bought, like, 13, which was more than enough quick tongue 2s for, like, 5,000, 6,000 gil. We don't need to go all the way over. We need to be, like, here-ish. What the fuck? That's a lot of enemies. Next. Back to Mordona. Yeah, at the pace I'm going, I should be able to finish another third of the required treasure maps by the time this queue pops. I've got 10. And I've got plenty of Allegan tomestones. Yeah, plenty of Allegan tomestones. Take a new one. North Shroud. There-ish. I could also be, instead of doing this, be working on the disarmed quest that unlocks the next raid series for Heavensward, because that's something I want to do before we move on to Stormblood. I think that's the name of the next expansion. Both the Alliance raid and the standard raid series is something I want to do before we start that. Before we move on. Nope. Put away the umbrella, thank you. Easy peasy. Eastern Thanalan. Plus, these treasure maps are actually a relatively decent source of gil. Like, 1,400, give or take, isn't, like, superb, but, you know, it could be a lot worse. Makes some of the price a lot less, painful. Let's see, where is that? It's there. It's Golden Bazaar. Beautiful. That brings me up to 20. Let's see. Yeah, we'll back off of this for now. This is easy enough to do on my own time. And then we'll go start... or we'll go continue doing Disarmed. Because I have no idea how much is... Like, things are very much coming to a head. I assume we're pretty close to the end of the post-Heavensward quest at this point. And we're only an hour and a half into the stream. I've still got another 2.5 hours to go, which means we're almost certainly going to be at... If I'm right, and this is, like, nearing the climax, nearing the end here, we'll might have enough time to run maybe one of these. Depending on how fast things go. Let's re-equip our main staff. I'll be, taking this. Hope you don't mind there. What is Uplander doing? Sneaky taker. Treasure belongs to Round Rocks. Uplander needs it? For Giant of Whirlycogs? But Glowstone is most favoritist treasure of Round Rocks. Alright. But Uplander must promise to bring it back or Round Rocks is getting very angry. Ah, no burns, I see. Oh, no reason. Tell me, did the 3G700001B reveal anything? Thank you! And you have my word that I'll give this back to Rocks when I've finished with it. Now, let's take a listen to what the Illuminati are really saying. Goodness, all that infernal beeping is gone. Now it's a message, clear as day. Let's see. Today's schedule for Gordius. Registration at 7th bell. Stop. Lose the curl cubs at the 3rd bell. Stop. Rest and recuperation at 2nd bell. Repeat. Today's schedule for Gordius. Curl lousing? But I'm sure that was the only message. This has to be some sort of jest. Don't be daft, Wedge. It's just another code. You need the proper crystal and the proper knowledge to understand it. Bleeding Illuminati. Should have known it wouldn't be so easy. Quite the conundrum you have there. But it's your lucky day. I'll crack the code, assuming we can come to a little arrangement. I'm a treasure hunter by trade, and there's a certain something I want inside the giant. I help you get inside, you help me get out with it. A fair deal, no? Your name's Maid, by the way. Charmed, I'm sure. You are aware that the interior is almost certainly swarming with Illuminati, yes? Why do you think I came to you? There's strength in numbers, friend. Best we join forces, eh? Now, the words you've intercepted are largely gibberish, but paired with the numbers, well, you'll see. 7, stop, 3, stop, 2, wasn't it? You, the big one. See the pipes atop the hatch? There ought to be a valve up there with a hand wheel. Imagine it's a clock. Try turning it right to 7, left to 3, and then back to 2. I cannot believe that worked. No, we got to watch the cutscene, so replaying this dialogue should be real easy. Of course, we might be waiting longer if our healer doesn't hit the ready button. There it is. I love how the goblins speak in this game. Belsar's Wall. What the fuck are those weird giant dog things? God, I am lagging. Hopefully that doesn't keep up. Or at least it feels like I'm lagging a bit. Someone is? Okay. Because my connection doesn't seem to be horrid. It's certainly not, you know, as good as it could be. Okay, what are you doing? Oh, really? It's either me or the tank. I see. Oh, we didn't grab the Imperial identification tape. I mean, it really doesn't matter. It's not bad enough that it's likely to kill us, and that's the only thing I'd be worried about. Granted, I have no idea how difficult the bosses are going to be. For all I know, the mechanics are going to be a pain, and I might die because of it. But also, I gotta remember the ley lines. Well, we'll find out, I guess. Oh god. I live, so it's fine. Phew. I didn't mean to mouse 4, I meant to mouse 5. Oh fuck. Just poor little guys. How many more of these little doorways are we gonna have to fight? Oh, more of the fucking big guys. All right. Well, there goes my stacks. That's unfortunate. Okay. I was worried for a second there that that marker wasn't going to go away even though we killed it. slightly too far away. Damn it. Come on. Really dragging these guys far, huh? Hey Griffin, buddy, how's it going? You're kind of being a dick right now. I'm gonna need to take you out. It's nothing personal. Okay, it's a little personal, but you know, Oh, now it's very personal. Alright, asshole. Never mind. You gotta die because I want you to die now. Fucking Ilsa. I knew he'd show up again at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. How'd you like these? How'd you like these? Yeah! Sloppy. Ugh. Yeah. 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 Sloppy. Yeah. I'll tear you limb from limb. Yeah. Sloppy.
Honestly, that wasn't bad at all. It looked scary, but honestly wasn't too bad. Oh no, jump for joy this time, just look of anger. Well, they didn't give me enough time to command it.
You've beaten me, aye.
Yeah, what did you expect? Like, really?
But you cannot stop what I've begun. Behold, a glimpse of things to come. We did it! We showed the bastards!
Aye! Victory is ours!
Yeah, for
Who
all of a
knows, lads?
week, maybe.
Mayhap the Eorzeans will finally see sense when the enemy turns up on their bloody doorstep.
Hey.
This is for Alamigo, for Eorzea.
Laurentius? What the fuck?
They die that others may live.
Vanguards! Attack!
Seven hells. Do you hear that?
War machines. How did they get here so quickly?
Stand your ground! For the resistance!
Oh yeah, they're all dead. They, like... Oh yeah, just keep throwing yourselves at it. Maybe it'll work eventually. Oh, there are two of them. Yeah, I recognize the name, and I'm assuming the Lalafell next to him was like the greedy fucker that also joined the Crystal Braves at the start. Oh, come on. Is doing that multiple times really necessary?
Gods help us! What were we thinking? The Empire's too big. Too powerful. Mighty Ralker, grant us the strength to crush our...
There you are.
As you can see, our infiltrators did not elude me for long. Lady Ugiri is sending for an airship even as we speak.
That's good to hear.
What do we do? This is a massacre!
Well, nothing really we can do, except blame this fucking asshole.
How wonderful to see you, Commander.
Illbird. I should have known. This has to end. It has to end now. Do you not see your countrymen dying? Have your ideals rendered you blind even to that? Order the retreat, and we will help your soldiers to safety.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen, Alphino.
Retreat? With the moment of my triumph so close at hand? You truly are a sheltered child, Leverrier.
Nidhogg's eyes. No abyss is too deep for you, I see. But trust me when I say that such power was not meant for mortal hands.
How long have I struggled to reach this point? My countrymen, so inured to the taste of defeat, they no longer balk at its bitterness, shouting my throat raw with rallying cries, only to be greeted with dull eyes and blank faces. My brothers and sisters in Ulda have surrendered to their apathy and their appetites. Were it not for the glint of Lodorito's coin, I doubt even those here now would have answered my call. Take back our homeland! Free al amigo! Ha! They'll happily mouth the words, but they won't spill the blood. You say no mortal should wield these eyes? Then I shall gladly become a demon. I will suckle on the souls of the hopeless and liberate the homeland they no longer deserve.
What exactly do you mean to do?
Good question. What are you planning on doing?
Did you hear their cries as victory was snatched away from them? Even with their dying breaths, they cursed the Empire. Never has their desire for vengeance been so raw, so true.
Probably should have seen that
God has no
coming.
need of faith when summoned by so pure a purpose.
Summoned? You cannot mean to fight the Empire with a primal? You know full well the danger, the futility of relying on such power.
Oh yes, I know their limitations. Which is why I will call upon a deity more terrible than the very black worm of the calamity itself.
What? Here? Now?
Like hells you will!
Wow, the fucking acrobatic fucking leap there, huh, buddy?
An ending to mark a new beginning. My pain, my longing, you shall have it all!
Oh, you just took the plunge, huh? This didn't actually succeed in summoning a primal, just fucking fell to his death, huh? Ah, that's kind of anticlimactic. That's very morbid. No, then maybe I spoke too soon. Yeah, might have spoke too soon.
This light, is it...
His death completed the ritual. The primal is taking shape.
Well, can't we stop it? There must be something we can do!
There is one thing.
What? Hey! Where do you think you're going?
Master Louisoix briefly contained Bahamut by means of a potent spell of sealing. I will now attempt to do the same.
But that's impossible! We would need hours to collect the necessary ether, if not days.
Alphino. Though I concede it may not always be apparent, I was ever your grandsire's finest pupil.
Timtimati, of course! The staff still holds enormous power, broken or not.
Don't you dare, Papalymo! I know how that spell works. It is time to leave.
Quite right. Quickly now, off you go. The further away, the better.
No! If you're staying, then so am I.
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen.
Ida! There is a path only you can walk, and it must not end here, not like this.
I can't say I didn't see this coming with all the death flags, but,
Take her! Please, you have to take her!
What? No! Damn it, Thancred! Put me down! Thancred!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you! Go!
oh my god, it's actually... Oh. Wow, I did not expect to be given a choice here. I'm gonna trust in Papalymo. I have seen no reason to distrust him. If he's got a plan, he's got a plan, even if it doesn't go well for him. I genuinely... I wonder, does that change the outcome?
Hilda! I think he means now!
Although, I guess since this is technically a cutscene, I could go back into, like, the cutscene viewer and probably make the other choice to see it.
Ida. Now, let us see how good a student I truly was.
That's kind of what I was figuring, was even if I chose the other option, I'd either be dragged out or something else would happen that would force me away. Wow. Holy shit, it's just up there, huh? Why didn't they let me stay? Well, you probably would have died had you stayed there with him. I don't know exactly how the spell works, but that seemed very final. Ida, sorry. You could see it in his eyes, Ida. He knew what he was doing, what had to be done. Master Louis Suave wore that same look right before the end. Do you think I don't know that? I know, alright, I know. There's nothing more you could have done. Ilberd caught us all off guard. Even they were powerless to stop him. If you must blame someone, then blame me. Just promise that you will never forget what Papa Lemo strove to protect, or the lessons he had tried to teach you. Don't speak to me. Leave Ito with me. Go on. Go back to the Rising Stones. The others need to know what happened here. Another brick. Once again, I find myself at a loss for words. But Thancred is right. We must return to the Rising Stones and apprise our companions of all of this. Pray make your way there at once. I will send word to Y'shtola and the others of our imminent return. Damn. You know, the title was supposed to be referring to Minfilia, but now Papa Lemo's dead too. Oh, why does this keep happening? First Hoshifant, then Minfilia. Ah, God, and now Papa Lemo. Come on. Also Moonbreda, yeah, true. I almost forgot about Moonbreda. To be fair, her death would have impacted me more probably had she not been around for all of, like, 45 minutes. Granted, it was still, you know, not great. Seeing Urianger especially suffer through it, but yeah. 'Twould seem you bring ill tidings, brother. Aye. Behind the Griffin's mask, we found the grinning face of an old adversary. Ilberd. I know not how, but he had it in his possession the eyes of Nidhogg, whose dread power he used to initiate a summoning ritual even as we looked on. By the 12. I don't understand. To attempt such a magic requires every ounce of one's ether. No one, not even grandfather, could cast it and hope to survive. Indeed, it was ever a last resort, as I am certain Papa Lemo was aware. Thus did the pupil follow in the footsteps of his master, even unto the grave. I have as yet been unable to explain how Ilberd came to possess Nidhogg's eyes. In the depths of the Sea of Clouds, a perpetual storm of water and wind-aspected ether rages. No mortal could endure such conditions. Then mayhap it was the work of an Asian. But now is not the time for idle speculation. Kryl, I have need of your assistance. Yes, of course. We must inspect the cocoon of light and ascertain the state of the primal trapped within. Between our respective talents, I dare say we shall glean some measure of insight. Understood. I can't promise I'll be able to sense much through the barrier, but I shall certainly do my best. As shall I. Let us be about it, then. What? Without so much as a by your leave? Pray forgive Archon Y'shtola her brevity. She seeketh employment, lest her grief deprive her of the will to act. A desire to comfort Ida doubtless compoundeth her unseemly haste. I too must contend with this grievous loss in mine own way. By thy leave, Lady Alice, I shall honor our fallen colleague through gainful study. There exist writings which may yet further our understanding of this cocoon of light. Mayhap I was too quick to judge. Surrendering to sadness and regret would be a poor tribute to Papalymo's sacrifice. Quite. We must begin preparations to face Ilberd's accursed creation without delay. What time we have was purchased at too dear a price for us to squander it. School's out forever. God damn it. Alright, fine. We're gonna continue, but I do need a teeny bit of a bathroom break. I will be right back. No more than 2 minutes. I have returned, as promised. I'm pretty sure that was less than 2 minutes. Back to it. Getting all sorts of music. I wish I had more to tell you, but the situation in the East Shroud remains largely unchanged. Meaning, we still have no idea how long it will be before... A communication from the Alliance. One moment. Yes, of course. Our representatives will be present. My thanks. Word from Gridania. The Council will be shortly be reconvened. The Alliance leaders have begun to assemble. They wish to discuss the Primal, of course, and as of Ystola's last report, the cocoon yet hung above the wall, unchanged. Yes, but the Elder Seatseer doubtless shares our concerns about how long it will remain. So, I am told that Sid Garland has been called... God damn it. Do I really have the hiccups now? God damn it. It's gonna be much harder to fucking read dialogue if I've got hiccups. Oh, God damn it. I am told that Sid Garland has been called in to add his expertise to the proceedings. A wise decision. The more minds we have working on this, the better. Well then, I suggest we leave the Rising Stones in Tataru's capable hands and make haste for the Lotus Stand. What primal did he summon, though? A primal worse than the... What the? Who the fuck are you? A samurai,
A word,
very
if
clearly.
you would, good sir. This place. It is within the realm of Eorzea.
You're an odd-looking fellow, aren't you? Still, takes all sorts, I suppose. This here's Vesper Bay. Thanalan's door to the ocean, as some folk like to call it.
Am I to understand from your answer that I have indeed arrived in Eorzea?
Yes?
Eh? Yes? You're in Eorzea?
Ah! A plain response at last, and the one I wanted at that. My journey was not without its hardships, and I would sooner travel by land than put to sea again.
Did you travel from wherever the fuck you came from via sailboat, via fucking rowboat? Holy, and you are fucking massive. You're here, but oh my god, you're standing literally double his height.
So small a bark could bear me across the ocean? Such timid little sailors.
Holy
I had
fuck,
better set
this
my
man is
course
awesome
and
already.
Set my jaw till I made port.
Hungry?
Though, it would perhaps have been wise to lay down my oars a moment to sup on more than the spray of brine water. By the trembling of my limbs, I sense a brief repast may be in order.
He's a different subrace of
I will
row.
not
Okay,
hearken
that
to the
makes more
feeble
sense.
grumblings of an empty belly. Duty comes before all.
Sure thing, Gramps. All right.
Good man. Are you all right?
So much for duty before eating, huh? What the fuck? Hi, Arianche.
Thou art far indeed from home, friend.
What the fuck? God, I love this game. It's so fucking good. It never stops being good. We went from, oh god, Papalimo is dead, to big old guy. Fucking, what, passing out just in Vesper Bay. That's... I mean, I get the sense that, there was probably an update gap in between the Balser's Gate and now. And it only gets better according to 98% of the fan base. I mean, yes, I have definitely heard that it just... I've heard mixed things about Dawn Trail's plot, but out of all the other 3 expansions, I've heard nothing but it just gets better and better and better and better. Alright, we can go straight to Conjurer's Guild. I mean, I think it kind of makes sense because from what while I don't know much about the plots of Shadowbringers or Endwalker or Stormblood, my impression was Endwalker is the sort of end to the story that had been going since The Realm Reborn, and Dawn Trail's the start of a new arc, essentially. Which would make sense that it would be slower, because they're starting to set more new things up, I guess. I could be wrong, though. That's just the impression I got from things I've heard. Oh, good.
Dear friends, pray accept my heartfelt thanks for your efforts in defense of Gridania's borders. I would fain dwell longer on my gratitude for the support of the Alliance, but the situation at Belsar's Wall demands that we forego such pleasantries.
According to our most recent intelligence, The cocoon of light that formed in the air above the wall remains undimmed and unbroken. After measuring the cocoon's etheric concentrations, Archon Y'shtola has confirmed the presence of a primal entity.
Yeah, we kind of figured that.
So we must assume that Ilbert's thrice damned god is indeed trapped within. And what news of the Imperials? They're not like to ignore such a spectacle.
Sir, a Garlean airship was observed making an approach, but the vessel was destroyed when it drew near. The Empire appears to have made no subsequent attempts to reach the object.
Well, that's good. I mean, deterrent for them making any sort of attacks or retaliation.
The soldiers who witnessed the incident spoke of a lance of light issuing from within the cocoon, of an entire warship being reduced to smoking ruin in the space of a moment. Veterans of Cartano, meanwhile, likened the destruction to that wrought by the fiery wrath of Bahamut.
Oh, great!
We could face another calamity.
So the Primal is awake then? Contained, yes, but for how long? We must destroy it now, lest it break free.
Agreed. There is, however, the small matter of how to get close enough to a being that swats warships from the sky as you would a bothersome gnat.
Yeah, this isn't gonna be simple. Oh, also, we have no idea what Primal we're even dealing with here.
Is this truly so complex a puzzle?
God damn it, Nero.
Or have you no stomach for the obvious solution?
Hey, Nero, how's it going?
What in the hells are you doing here?
A pleasure to see you too, Garland. Now, if you'd be so kind as to explain to these good people why you should be begging me for my assistance, that would be most appreciated.
You're just gonna keep showing up over and over again, aren't you?
Who is this man?
Oh, how terrifically rude of me. Nero Tolskeva, former tribunus of the 14th Legion of the Garlean Empire. These days, however, one might say that I'm something of a free agent.
What do you want,
Yeah,
Nero?
pretty much.
I was getting to that. Although you already know what I'm about to propose, old friend. As you have rather belatedly realized, within that frail binding lurks an entity alike in strength to the great Bahamut, and the only force in existence which might conceivably contend with such a foe is the very creation which captured the Elder Primal in the first place. I speak, of course, of Omega.
Of what?
Omega? That hulk has been gathering dust beneath the plains of Cartanal since the Allagans breathed their last. And none alive knows how to wake it.
I'm sorry. Do you understand who it is with whom you have the privilege of speaking? I'm Nero Tolskeva, Master Engineer. The mechanical genius who restored the Ultima weapon to full operational capacity.
I might not go around saying that to these guys. Just word of advice, Nero.
And as luck would
Honestly,
have it,
I'm surprised you didn't get a
I'm
more
graciously
negative
offering you
reaction
the use
from
of
that.
my considerable expertise.
Yeah, I was the guy that brought the weapon that almost destroyed all of you back, you know? Wow, really?
And what, you just expect us to accept? You're a fool if you think your deeds at the Crystal Tower are enough to win my trust, Nero.
Trust? You wound me, Garland.
Nope.
But sentiment
Shit.
aside,
I didn't mean to do that.
have you a better solution? Or do you mean to send in your vaunted hero there, as you always do, and pray the world is not engulfed in flame?
I mean, if you got a better solution. I mean, I'm sure I could handle it, but,
Let us approach the problem in a rational manner. Does not the fact that Omega slumbers in stasis point to the existence of some overriding technology? A means of control?
I would ask a question, if I may. Nero, was it not? In the event that we succeeded in using Omega to shackle the Primal in the manner you propose, what then would become of it? Do we not risk repeating the mistakes of the Allagans?
Omega is but a tool. How we choose to employ that tool is entirely up to us. Of course, if you would rather leave it buried beneath Cartano while you continue your petty squabbles above, then I suppose that is also your choice.
Spare us, Nero. The Seedseer's concern is a valid one. He who controls Omega wields the power of the gods, the very power which led the Allagans to destroy themselves.
And does it not fall to we engineers to prevent such misuse? What was your company's proud slogan? Freedom through technology?
A creed you follow, is it? What say you? Do we take this villain at his word?
I mean, Emperor probably could kick that primal shit in. No, but I'll keep an eye on him.
As will I. I don't like it, but then it doesn't look like we have much choice. Would the council be willing to entrust this matter?
Nope, fuck. God damn it, not again. I gotta just take my hand off the mouse unless I'm moving dialogue manually.
Yes. The task of restoring the Allagan relic will be yours. But the responsibility for its reawakening must remain with the council. Do we condone this course of action?
Aye. 'Twould seem we do. Let the record show that we invest this contingent with the authority to enter Cartano and take command of Omega. Sid, I appoint you leader of the expedition. Scions, I would ask that you assign some few of your number to escort Master Garland.
There is?
And supervise the other one.
That would actually be very helpful. I just don't know it. I should look up the button on the controls next time I get the chance.
We should be happy to oblige. The politics of Cartano being what they are, I dare say our neutrality will prove useful in avoiding any unnecessary entanglements.
If I am not mistaken, Doma occupies a similarly neutral position. Might we not persuade you to join the expedition, Lady Yugiri? If you suspected any foul play from Nero, you would be welcome to kill him.
Wow, okay. Just coming out and saying it, huh?
My blade is yours.
I am a keyboard player.
Not a moment's hesitation, eh? You'll forgive me if I do not shake your hand.
Got that fucking face. I'll look up the keybind really quick. It shouldn't take any time. Just, assuming we aren't thrown immediately into dialogue. Good. Keybind. System. Shift tab. Yeah, we'll give that a shot next time we're inside a cutscene. Well, that was a rather unexpected development, and one which raises a number of questions, not least among of how Nero chanced to learn of the council meeting in the first place. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Sid and the others are assembling at the airship landing. Alice is already on her way, and it would not do to lag too far behind. Let us be off. There is a cogwheel in the menu it brings up. Understood. Where am I going? Oh, right, the airship landing. It was literally just said 5 seconds ago. We're going to the airship landing. Alright. Can't jump down. Have to actually make my way over. Ready to go? The others have stepped out onto the landing for a moment, lest you wonder. Nero insisted that he be allowed to inspect the Excelsior before boarding. And you let him? Despite his very timely offer of assistance, the thought of that man poking about in the workings of the ship without proper supervision does not fill me with confidence. Calm yourself, Alphino. Your sister was adamant that he would never leave her sight. She and Yugiri are... Ah, well, here they are now. Right, I think that's everyone. Shall I set course for Kurt now? No. Might I ask that we delay our departure slightly? I require no more than a few hours at most. Our colleagues are studying the cocoon even as we speak, and I would hear their latest observations ere we proceed. It would seem wise to gain a clear understanding of the situation as possible before formulating our plan. Oh, I thought time was against us. How foolish of me. Hold your tongue. When we want your opinion, we'll ask for it. I love that jacket, though. I really wish I had that jacket. Forgive me, my lady. Forgive me, my lady. I shall keep my counsel until such time as you have finished procrastinating. Alright. While Alphino speaks with his colleagues, I shall fly the Excelsior over to Mordona and we can reconvene at the Rising Stones. Mine apologies for the trouble. I shall visit Y'shtola and the others forthwith and join you as soon as I am able. Also, we can test the shift tab thing. No, that does not. Shift tab does not seem to work. Oh, that's Alt tab. That is very different. But maybe it's just for voice cutscenes. Or maybe this isn't technically... Yeah, no. Control tab? Tab? I don't know. I'll look it up later. I'll figure it out. I probably accidentally unbound it at some point, assuming I wouldn't need it, and then I just need to go in and rebind it, probably. Not quite a door-to-door service, but I couldn't exactly land her in the toll's main square. Shall we adjourn to the Rising Stones, then? Oh, come on. I can see it. Fuck, come on. Nero.
So these are the fabled headquarters of the Scions. I confess I would have expected an order of self-proclaimed warrior scholars to surround themselves with the fruits of man's enlightenment. And yet there's not so much as a single piece of magitech in sight. It never ceases to amaze me how primitive you Eorzeans truly are.
You really want to make enemies, don't you?
Oh, I'll have you know that the Rising Stones is home to the very latest in magitech innovation. Wedge calls it the Mark 14 Thermocoil Boil Master, and it's the finest kettle I've ever had the pleasure to own.
We are returned. Well, Ida and I, at least. Ishtola and the others remain behind to continue their assessment of the binding magic.
There didn't seem much point staying just for that, so I decided to come back with Alphino. Papalimo bought us this time. We shouldn't waste it.
By your leave!
What the? Okay, you're here now? Hi.
Good God, that voice could fell a gigas.
This is the Rising Stones, domicile of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I enter at the invitation of one Lord Urianger.
Okay.
I spy you there, Shadow Walker. You always were a hard one to find.
Yugiri, do you know this man?
Gosetsu, why are you come to Eorzea?
In search of you, Yugiri. For days and nights did I row across the angry sea. I made port in good spirits, only for my own flesh to betray me over the trifling matter of an empty belly. Collapsed in the street like an unfed stray I was, until Lord Urianger came to my aid.
God damn it.
Over a most welcome meal, we spoke of the plight of Doma, and I learned of our displaced countrymen's work to resettle this blighted land.
He's gonna rapidly turn into one of my favorite characters, I get the sense.
But now we must make ready to depart. Our master languishes in dire peril, and Doma calls her daughter home.
It is not so simple, Gosetsu. There are obligations which bind me here.
You refuse? Did you mislay your oath during your flight from our homeland? The laws of hospitality must be honored, but surely the vow to defend your master demands the greater obeisance.
It was our master who bid me guide our people to safe haven by any means necessary. And it was the Scions you see before you who provided us succor and sanctuary when all others refused. Dire peril or no, were I to return without first repaying such hospitality, our master would cut me down at the threshold.
Mayhap that is so.
There is more. A crisis threatens all within this realm, Eorzean and Doman alike, and I go to play my part in its resolution. I will not bring shame upon our liege by abandoning my people or my duty.
How very noble of you. Now, in the name of honor, kinship, and, yes, practicality, might I suggest we get this expedition underway? Or would you rather debate the finer points of duty and leave Omega to the Empire?
The Empire?
Yeah, the Empire.
You giddy? You draw steel against the curse of Garlemald? Then why did you not say so? My blade is oath-bound to fall upon the ranks of the Imperials wheresoever they march. Lead on, Shadow Walker, and may the enemy tremble at our coming.
So, you going to join us too then, old man? All right. Literally walks in, fucking, hey you Gary, you should come back. No. Fine, I'll join you. Refuses to elaborate. Okay, yeah. God damn it. He just walked in and commanded the entire conversation. It's like, I'm gonna join you now. Alright. What a guy. What a guy. Do you remember when I had you meet me at the Diamond Forge and we, ambushed you? Well, once I had your measurements, I set to work with making you a traveling outfit in my spare time. I've only just this moment finished the stitching, but I wanted you to have it before you left. Here. You could try it on right now if you like. Oh, we get an outfit. Okay. Formal. I look like a fucking schoolgirl now, apparently. Assuming we measured correctly, the fit should be just right. Snug, but not too snug, if you know what I mean. So, how does it feel? You're not just saying that, are you? Oh, I can't tell how much this means to me. To have crafted something worthy of the Warrior of Light well, let's just say it makes all the practice worthwhile. I also sewed in a blood pearl charm to, you know, bring you home. May it always protect you. Oh my god, I even got a monocle. Scion's Adventures did nice. That's actually cool. Gotta love getting entire outfit sets. And they actually all had rooms to put into my armory chest and not go into my inventory. So, we have to wake Omega up, right? When do we start? Ida, are you sure that's... That's sick. I like that. I really like that. I'm sure, yes. I won't lie and say I'm completely fine, but I'll feel a lot better if I'm doing something useful. Very well. I will remain here and continue coordinating our efforts with the Alliance. Alphino, mayhap you could return to Gridania and assist Y'shtola and Kryal. Also, I like that you're just here now. You have legit just kind of forced your way into our group and are, like, just here. Great. A fine suggestion. The rest of us will form the Cartonau expedition party. Nero and I will focus on rousing Omega. Fuck, I did it again. The Excelsior is by the lake just outside town. We'll leave as soon as everyone is ready. I'm just gonna fully take my hand off the mouse unless I'm moving forward dialogue, because obviously I can't be trusted to not accidentally click the buttons. We haven't far to go. With any luck, we'll be in Cartno before Gosetsu graces the deck with his dinner. Once there, however, we had best be on our guard. Given that Eline Royale was still active when Omega was discovered, we can be sure that the Empire has long been aware of its existence. And if Nero deemed it the obvious solution to this threat posed by this new primal, it's not impossible that Garlemald might do the same. Have your weapons ready and your wits about you. Something tells me we're flying into a fight. Oh, we are flying into a fight. Very much so.
Now, where was that? Ah. I've enabled the teleporter. One brief jump and we shall arrive in Omega's control room.
How convenient. You've been here before.
Of course. It was no easy task threading a path through all the skirmishes. But how could I ignore the existence of such a fascinating toy? You may trust that my preliminary examination was suitably thorough.
Trust? Aye. I trust your appetite for technology.
I chased down a suspect airship, and who should I find but the traitor, Sid Garland.
Yeah, the Empire. Good to see you. Gonna kick your shit in now.
Engineer? Something big? It's close, isn't it? It's like all my name days have come at once.
For all the scouts the Empire could have sent. Take care of that brute, will you?
God damn it. Can't let Nero tinker around in there by himself. I'm sorry to leave you to it, but I dare say you'll manage without me. This clod has no idea who he's dealing with.
It's damn right.
I am Gosetsu, Samurai of Doma. You will rue your choice of opponent this day.
Nice hammer. Fucking chump.
This one will sting.
Oh yeah?
An opening.
I like to strike.
Honestly, he's kind of kicking my shit in.
No holding back.
No retreat. No surrender.
Nope, not enough MP.
With soul and steel.
It's all over now.
Leave this to me.
Your defense is lacking.
Surrender. We have you outnumbered. It's just like 6 guys other than you. Like, if that's outnumbered... wouldn't be the first time. Are you still playing with those soldiers? I suppose I can lend you one of my toys, but only if you promise to give it back. Behold, the Red Baron. Now end this nonsense. What the? No one told me they'd have Magitech armor. Forward for the Empire. The honorless cur thinks to abandon his men. I shall see that he shares their fate. Pray attend to the rest of his minions. I should have no problem doing that now that I have a fucking mech.
It's all over now. Leave this to me.
Tis my right to strike.
Thanks for the follow, Lick Odoy. I don't know how to pronounce that.
No holding back. An opening.
Look upon a samurai of Doma.
Oh my god, they got a Colossus now too.
This one'll sting.
No surrender.
How many fucking men did they have? They sent quite a lot of dudes to fucking take it, to just handle this one thing.
Your defense is lacking.
With solid steel.
It's all over now. Leave this to me.
Tis my right to strike.
Hey, get the fuck out of here. So it's the guy who ran away. Please? Oh my god, you are pathetic. That's not what I wanted. Get out of the menu, please.
An opening.
Look upon a samurai of Doma.
Oh god, I'm on fire. That is... oh shit. Luckily, the squad's got me.
No surrender.
Papalimo!
One more fire 4, and you're done. Mm-hmm. Sure, buddy. I'll totally rue the day I kicked your ass. That'll definitely happen. Definitely. Just another fucking pathetic Garlean agent who just doesn't know that I'm just better than him, apparently.
Temporal stasis disengaged. All systems operational. Garland?
All clear on this side. It's waking up.
Oh, I'm sure this'll go great. Mm-hmm. Great. What do we got? Some sort of walker?
Remarkable. Omega sensors immediately detected the presence of the cocoon, even at this distance. They must have been set to scan for sources of energy exceeding certain magnitudes.
Impressive.
I still don't see any means to control the machine directly. It seems to have been designed to act wholly autonomously. Once we release Omega, we can be fairly certain it will attempt to capture the Primal at Belsar's Wall. Assuming its mission is successful, our only option at that point will be to re-engage its stasis system and put it back to sleep.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that'll go perfectly.
And should the machine happen to misbehave, we'll simply initiate an emergency shutdown. I confess we don't yet have a complete grasp of its capabilities, but I'm certain the details will not elude us for long.
Well, I understood less than half of that. So, my question to you is, are we doing the right thing?
Yeah, what do you think?
What do I think?
Yeah. You know, your opinion would be valued. You know, don't just follow us.
All right. Step aside, Sid. Is this the thing I need to press?
Okay, maybe.
Yes. That's the one.
Okay, maybe this wasn't the best idea. You're just gonna press the button? I mean, it couldn't hurt for somebody untrained to just press a button, right?
You gave too much for us to waste this chance, Papalimo. So this is for you. And me.
Yes! Fly free, my pretty! Show us what you can do.
Nero, you're sounding a little evil there, buddy.
The launch sequence has begun. Omega is loose.
Oh god. It's perfect timing. It came out right. It came out of its orb right the moment that Omega got there. Tiny Bahamut? I don't know what that is. It looks like Bahamut, and it's very small. That's fair. That's fair. Where the fuck did all the water come from? That makes sense. A very large lake, apparently, given all of the fucking water. That is definitely not how deep work. You don't just throw them the moment you try to make a big cannon attack. Oh. Just another Ultima sized blast, huh? Well, at least we weren't standing at the fucking epicenter this time. Now, both of you still standing?
Omega has stopped transmitting. But that shouldn't be. I didn't engage the stasis system.
Well, I guess it got its shit rocked.
And what does this signify? I have little understanding of these contrivances.
The launch went exactly to plan, but all signals emanating from Omega have ceased. This may indicate any number of things, but we will need to join the Scions out in the field if we are to ascertain which one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I've ordered a malfunctioning beast to go to sleep. That should prevent any unfortunate mishaps.
For now.
I suggest we make our way back to Gridania.
We just unleashed a powerful weapon capable of thinking and acting autonomously, and we think that just putting it in sleep mode is gonna, like, work?
Omega destroyed the cocoon.
What? I assume that was a tattoo. Tattoos don't just magically fade like that.
Papalimo's spell is fading. It was bound to his ether, you see. And if the connection is broken...
it's just loose thread upon loose thread upon loose thread of questions with no answers. I know we're gonna get answers. It makes me all the more excited to get those answers. I'm not sure why we lost contact with Omega, but I mean to find out. Let's be on our way. Well, hopefully if it got trashed, it also trashed fucking Noodle Bahamut in the, at the same time. That makes sense. With all the, I assume, given all the talk of Garabania and Alamigo, that those are the places we'll be visiting during Stormblood. One moment everything was functioning perfectly, and the next it wasn't. Makes no sense. We need to see what happened for ourselves, and soon. Words can ill express how glad I am to see you are all unharmed. When Omega came hurtling towards the cocoon, everything dissolved into chaos. I have to see it. I have to see it with my own eyes. Ida, wait! We must first... the Elder Seedseer is expecting us. Worry not, Alvino. Gosetsu and I will watch over her. You may safely attend your meeting. My thanks, Yugiri. The council reconvened a short while ago. Let us make haste for the Lotus Stand. All there are eager to hear your testimony. Honestly, Nero's coming with us, which is a little surprising. I kind of expected him to fuck off the moment he got Omega up and running. It seemed like something he'd do. Maybe he's not entirely an asshole, just a weirdo. My friends, full eagerly have we awaited your return. Few indeed could have discharged the duty entrusted to you, and most humbly do we thank you for seeing it done. You're too kind, Elder Seedseer. As I recall, we as good as demanded the right to try. But tell me, how did the battle unfold? We succeeded in waking Omega, aye, but we lost contact with the weapon shortly after it launched. From our position in the control room, we were blind to all that followed. What words could do justice such a scene? None of my choosing, that much is certain. But I can give you the facts. The cocoon hatched even as Omega arrived, and from its mist rose a great dragon. The pair duly set about each other in the skies over Garabania. The Primal's might defied belief. It seems the very heavens would be rent asunder by the force of its blows, and it wielded such magics as I have never seen, and hope never to see again. The battle raged on with no end in sight until both combatants were engulfed in a blinding flash of light. When the radiance faded, I saw the pair fall motionless from the sky, coming to rest somewhere on Alamigan soil. I will not speak for the rest, but to my eye it seemed that each had landed a fatal blow upon the other. While most of us could only think of Bahamut when looking upon the primal's form, the Domans were heard to whisper the name Shinryu. It would appear that this being resembles a creature of far eastern legend, and we have found it convenient to refer to it as such. This Shinryu's fate, and indeed that of Omega, is yet unknown. We have alas no eyes over the Garabanian side of the border. Aye, which is why we have sent our main force under the command of Marshal Terrapin to recapture the wall. With the Imperials in disarray, we have the perfect opportunity to secure Gridania's borders and assess the aftermath of the impact. I myself will join the Marshal and his men when this council is adjourned. Well, that explains a few things. I'll wager that flash of light coincided with our loss of contact. Lest you wonder, we quickly re-engaged Omega's stasis system, so even if it has fallen into the Empire's lap, it will be of no use to them. Save perhaps as a statue. Correct. Without me to guide their efforts, it would take them all decades to decipher Omega's core functions, if they managed it at all. Such reassurances do calm our fears, yet the relic's fate is one but of several concerns. Indeed, I humbly submit that the time has come for us to make contact with the Resistance representatives in Garabania. Though Ilberd has forced our hand, it would seem only logical to seek an alliance, given the inevitability of Imperial retaliation. And by working in concert, it is not impossible that El Amigo may finally be wrested from Garlemald's grasp. You must be exhausted. I would ordinarily suggest that we retire to directly to the Rising Stones, but I wonder if we might first take a small detour. Y'shtola and the others have gathered at Emerice's spire, and I imagine that you too would be interested to see what has become of the wall now the cocoon is gone. It is decided then. Lead on. Yes, I am quite curious how the wall fared through all that, being flooded with a massive tsunami and all that.
My friends, I cannot well express how glad I am to see you both unharmed. They say that Omega's clash with the Primal shook the very firmament.
You need not have worried. The battle took place far above the ground. We were able to observe in relative safety, though I'm given to understand that there were casualties on the far side of the wall.
It was like watching a nightmare unfold before our very eyes. Ilberd's primal manifested in the form of a colossal dragon, a being of pure violence. It burst forth from the cocoon with such terrible force.
That such a horror should spring from the eyes of Nidhogg comes as no surprise. Nor do I wonder at its form. Ilberd all but announced it in the moments prior to his death. Plainly, it was his dying wish to visit a second calamity upon the Empire.
Well, it didn't quite work out for him. He just died for practically nothing. Well, I mean, that's not true.
I'm quite certain the abomination would have obliged had it not found itself outmatched by Omega. Gods! I am no stranger to the works of Alag, but even I was unprepared for the machine's furiosity. It beggared belief.
My point is, he technically succeeded in the fact that we're going to now join the Alamegan Resistance. But, guy was a fucking idiot. And an asshole, for that matter.
And how fares poor Ida in the midst of all this? Have you spoken with her?
She is up on the platform, lost in thought. We deemed it best not to disturb her, but mayhap she would welcome some company after all. Shall we?
The light's gone. It was all we had left of him.
Ida.
I don't blame anyone. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the spell Papalimo meant to cast would drain away his life force. I knew that it would only buy us a little time.
Wow. You have much longer hair than I expected.
Ida, there is no need to explain.
But there is. I can't hide in Papalimo's little shadow anymore, and I shouldn't hide behind my sister's mask.
I'm sorry, what?
20 years ago, on the day the Empire marched into Alamigo, I was still just a child. Not even 5 summers old. My father had been one of the leaders of the revolution. He had fought to overthrow the Mad King, Theodoric. And my sister had fought alongside him. But she was strong and kind, and always knew what to do. But when the Garleans came, everything changed. My father went to war against them too. And I never saw him again. After that, I remember a lot of running. My sister dragged me for malms and malms until we came to the city of Charlian.
I see. Okay.
That was where she met Master Louis Soir. He introduced her to the Circle of Knowing, and she eventually became an Archon.
She was your inspiration. Is that not why you took up her mask and her name? Or did you simply mean to continue what she had started?
You've known all along, haven't you? That I wasn't Ida.
Apparently.
Of course. We all recognized you at once. 'Twas Papalimo who persuaded us to maintain the charade.
It was silly to think I could fool you. I knew that even then, but I sort of decided not to know. Ida died 6 years ago, on a mission to smuggle refugees out of Alamigo. They say she was overwhelmed by Imperial soldiers when she stayed behind to save a little girl. She was so strong. There must have been a lot of them.
Yeah. It's better to not ask.
I'm sorry for lying to you. My real name is Lise. When Papalimo brought me Ida's mask, it was meant as a keepsake, but I decided I wanted to be his new partner, to keep alive all the good that she had done. I didn't want to become Ida, exactly. At the time, though, I still didn't know who I was myself, and it almost seemed easier to play the role. Papalimo agreed to help, of course, but it was never what he wanted for me. He wanted me to walk my own path, and those were his final words to me. The Archon's mark he gave me is faded, and my last excuse along with it. So this is it. Whatever I choose to do from now on, I do as Lise.
and I choose to continue my family's fight. I want Alamigo to be the country that Ida and my father always wanted it to be.
Good on ya. Step out from your sister shadow. Be your own person, you know. Fight for what you want.
War is upon us once more.
Do you regret standing against the Empire? Would you have chosen a different road, knowing what you know now?
To claim that I never doubted the decision would be a lie. But I made my choice, and I have defended it with blade in hand ever since.
The battle continues, and our steel is needed. Come, Shadow Walker, we leave for the east, for Doma.
Okay. It was brave of Lise to remove her mask after so long. Though she has scarce begun to come to terms with Papalimo's loss, that one act made plain her determination to move forward. And should she ever falter, we shall be there to support her on the road she has resolved to walk. Let us return to the Rising Stones. We have quite a story to tell Tataru and my sister. Oh, fuck. Credits. Wow. Heavensward was phenomenal. Well, I did have a few problems with A Realm Reborn. Mainly it slogged at certain points. The story was good, but this was just a massive improvement. I'm looking very much forward to starting Stormblood, although we're not doing that right away. I don't suppose, as much as I want to sit here for like the next 20 minutes and watch credits. I have things to do, and by things to do, I mean we have things to do before starting Stormblood officially. Mainly being the Alliance raid and the Standard raid series. He may have mentioned. I had known nothing about either raid other than I've picked up the Standard one. We'll figure it out. I can't imagine it would be much more difficult than Crystal Tower. He may have mentioned, but Alphino has apprised me of all that came to pass in Gridania. Your only task now is to rest. This is the calm before the storm. Lise has chosen her path, and as her friends, we must do what we can to support that choice. We are fated to join the conflict in any case. Once the Alliance has taken the wall and reopened the gateway to Garabania, we will have little choice but to fight. Which is not to say that the cause is unworthy. After all, ignoring the plight of those whom one might conceivably save is not wisdom but indolence, correct? I, for one, look forward to joining hands with the Alamegans and striking a blow against the tyranny of the Empire, as I suspect, do you. Quick march! The Imperials will soon come to their senses, and we must be ready to face their retribution. It is almost time, Father. Aye, almost time. Stand firm, Pippin. I learned to brace myself against the charge of the Bull of Alamigo. No foe will dislodge me. How the hell did you sire a Lalafell? Okay, he's adopted. That never mind. I just made that. Okay. Whew. Very well, Ilberd. I will take our homeland back. For the both of us. Hey, Emperor, whatever the fuck your name was. How's it going? My Lord Viceroy, our scouts have confirmed the preliminary reports. Balsar's wall has fallen to the Eorzean Alliance. The hunt for Omega and the unknown Icon continues, though both yet elude us. My lord, their battle caused considerable damage across the region. Should we perchance divert some of our forces from the search to undertake necessary reconstruction work? Forgive me, my lord. I did not intend... Your will be done. Unknown. My spies tell me the Domans call it Shinryu, and that it proved a match for Omega. Yes, the coming days promise to be most interesting. Most interesting. That is fair. That was before you said they were adopted. That was my initial assumption, given how close those two are. But yeah, thinking about it doesn't really... Yeah. A Dawn of Liberation, whatever the fuck that said. I missed it. God damn it. I was too busy talking. And I'm assuming... Yep, I think that's officially the start of Stormblood, so we have other things to do. You see, I've got a checklist that I want to do before we start that officially. And normally, while I'd cut it off here... I've got half an hour left of my evening. Surprisingly enough, I actually have free time. I don't start work until early afternoon tomorrow. Well, late morning. I should sleep at some point soon, but I can spare another half an hour or so. God, the thought of starting a new expansion does fill me with does excite me Not even for the expansion itself, but the fact that we'll actually be able to use our level 61 to 70 Black Mage kit. Like, I unlocked Xenoglossy when I hit level 80 a couple days ago, and I can't use it because I can't use Polyglot. Yep, here you go. We already watched this cutscene. I'm not gonna watch it again. We're just going to skip it and then read the dialogue after it. I wouldn't be this over-leveled. I've been trying to level classes evenly, but I was honestly really desperate to try Viper out, because Viper has really, really struck a chord with me, like, visually. That I was just like, I'll level up Black Mage to 80. I was like 78 the last stream, so I wasn't too far away. So I was like, I'll just hit level 78. I'll just hit level 80 on like Viper, and then go back to leveling classes evenly. Oh. Really? I literally would have unlocked this, like, had I gotten a little... Had I literally just watched that cutscene and that Q not popped in the middle of it. That's hilarious. Alexander, Fist of the Father. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I still have Belsar's Wall. I have heard that. I've heard that Picto also does comparable damage to Black Mage. Which threw me off because I figured Black Mage, from what I heard, was the explosive damage. Like, highest potential damage in the game. You know, as a Black Mage should be Final Fantasy lore-wise. But, I mean, Pictomancer also looks really interesting. I just don't know if I want to, like... I'm worried that if I start Picto and, like, fall in love with it, like, I'll just completely drop Black Mage, which is my, like, starter class, which I guess isn't the end of the world. Well, I mean, I have things I can do other than sitting here and waiting for this queue. Like more treasure chests. I really need to start putting time back into tank and healer in dungeon, like in roulettes, because I haven't played tank and healer pretty much since a couple months, maybe. Like, I'm slowly helping a friend of mine get through the story, and I've been, when we're doing dungeons, I run tank or healer. But then he got to Ultima Weapon. I don't know have any, so I had to swap over to the higher level shit. North Shroud. Oh, right there. Oh, that's easy enough. Should be around here somewhere. wonder I'm doing so little damage. I only built one stack. Well, aren't you just a pain in the ass? I mean, you're not going to kill me, but still, there goes my stacks, you asshole. Fucking rude. Northern Thanalan. It's literally right there. Also, I can't help but notice that there is an exclamation point quest under my standard quest, which means I could theoretically... Yep, I could do Black Mage quest now, although, like Heavensward, I'll probably be locked a little bit behind story progression. Nice. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I am definitely thinking about it. Let's see, I just need something that's level 60, which I definitely have other DPS roles that I have. Actually, let's take a look. What do I have at level 60? Gunbreaker. I wouldn't mind playing Gunbreaker through the chunk of it. I've put also a decent amount of time into Reaper in things like, the Palace of the Dead. Dancer. I mean, that is another ranged DPS. That's I could definitely do that. I'll definitely. It's something that I should almost certainly do. I just need to spend some time and think what class do I want to play through the majority of that. Because it's a class that I decide I don't have leveled, I've got a little bit of time to log in and do like roulettes every day and see if I can grind out to level 60 before I officially start. Because obviously we're probably only going to get to one of the Alexander raids today, which means we will likely take at least one full stream to get through the remainder of the standard raid and then the Alliance raid. So I've got, like, probably 2 weeks to plan something out. I've also played a little bit of Red Mage in Palace of the Dead, just to, you know, test the class. It seems fun, too. Decipher. E-Shroud. How are we doing? We've got 30, which brings us up to 35. So we're not quite there. I definitely need to play something other than Black Mage. If for no other reason than to learn either a different role or just a different class in general. Yeah, I just do it like if I'm bored and have enough free time and like I've done the roulettes and shit for the day, I like to just go into Palace of the Dead to just try out certain classes and mechanics. Where am I going? There? Plus, inevitably, I do want to get my Necromancer title. Even though I know that, I know that's going to probably take a while to actually accomplish, because I haven't succeeded in even hitting past floor 50. That's fair. I mean, the striking dummy does work. I use that on, like, practicing rotations and stuff, but I find, personally, that in actual combat with an enemy that attacks back, it's a lot easier to, like, learn the individual abilities in, like, an active combat. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, the amount of times I think I've read through an ability, and it's, like, I end up running through Palace of the Dead, and it works entirely differently of how I thought it would, like, it happens quite a lot. Okay. So, nope, there it is. I need to swap back to my Thaliac staff. Fix my portrait. Mm-hmm. I definitely understand that. Yeah, I played a bit of Viper in Palace of the Dead, and I'm really not sure how the standard, like, rotation is supposed to work, especially at those lower levels. Like, I just kind of follow what abilities light up, and that's about it. I haven't done an 8-player standard raid in a while. Actually, now that I think about it, the only other 8-player standard raid is Coil of Bahamut, isn't it? Nope, I screwed up a little bit there. Yeah, the one thing I know about these, 8-player raids past Coils is that they decided Coil difficulty was a bit much, so they're a lot more streamlined to story difficulty unless you do the higher, like, difficulty variants. So they're more like, actual raids and dungeons and things. Which is a lot easier for somebody like me who doesn't get to play super often, but still wants to experience all of, like, the main content without having to get their shit completely rocked. What the fuck is happening here? Well, it doesn't seem too bad so far. Flare. Send that. Get all our stacks back. Oh, fuck. I don't know what the fuck is happening. I didn't realize there were more enemies that needed to be killed. I forgot how short some of these, like, actual, like, 8-player raids are. Oh, well, I just got everything, huh? Well, given that didn't take much time at all, I think I have time for another one as long as the story doesn't take too long to get to read through. I forgot these are relatively short until you get to the actual, like, main bosses. Expertly done, adventurer. Well, what have we here? It's a goblin. Sorry, Randrox could not stay away. So many new treasures here. Treasures? Oh, you mean the odd bits and bobs. Well, little one, these machina are yours to take, and some of them are rather beautiful, I must admit. Uplander can tell pretty machines from ugly, just like Randrox. Yeah, no harm in adding one more to our company, is there? I'll keep an eye on her. Damn it. I was so sure. Uplanders are unwise to come, but most of all is Treasure Hunter. What she seeks is not here, not in all of Gordius. What the fuck? Nice cat. As I live and breathe, quick thinks all thoughts, master of the Illuminati. Gobbies are backstrapped with boom dust. Uplander shoots, everybody kabooms. Uplander, ear catches, tongue flaps of master. Enigma Codex for plans making is gone. Illuminati are already undertaking Alexander Initiative. Foolish Gabi. Secrets are kept silent. Tongue flaps never traded with outsiders. As Quick thinks not ordered so many times. Master, forgive noise-making of empty head. Gabi did not think. Please, Gabi, take any punishment, just not worst one. Now. And poop dust does not harm Uplanders. Blood, Uplander blood for fallen Gabikin. I think now would be a good time to leave. Uplander, what is Enigma Codex? Treasure? Yes, young one. My treasure. Alright. Actually, now that I think about it, we'll finish this quest and then we'll call it. Given the fact that we'll probably have at least another 9-10 minute queue. Bleeding hells. Face to face with the head of the Illuminati, eh? Sounds like you've had quite the adventure. And this Alexander Initiative has got me wondering. Do you reckon it might be the giant's name? No sign of the core, though, eh? Well, we'll just have to look further in. I'll let the chief know, anyway. He'll be happy to hear Maid and Round Rocks are safe, too. Those two haven't stopped talking about machines since they got back. Can't say I ever thought of junk as pretty, but to each his own. Yeah, I think that's a good enough spot to call it. Thanks everybody so much for watching, if you still are. I'll be back tomorrow with Xenoblade, and this will come back next week Wednesday. So far as I don't get completely swamped with work again like last week. Fingers crossed. Luckily, things are starting to even out a bit, but we do have a couple people leaving here in a couple months, so we'll, in about a month or two, so we'll see what happens. But regardless, if you enjoyed and want to catch more streams, I don't need to do the spiel. You all know to hit the respective buttons on whatever platform you watch on to get notified. Join the Discord that I'm going to be changing in the next week to actually be somewhat usable. It sends out notifications automatically when I go live, but regardless. I hope everybody enjoyed and have a good night. If I can find the button while looking directly into the camera to make this not awkward.